2 in the morning, and I'm sitting in my kitchen fixing a chair leg that's been wobbling for 3 months. Funny how you notice the broken things when everything else starts falling apart too. The wood glue smells sharp in the still air, mixing with the lingering scent of Leanne's perfume, the expensive stuff she only wears for special occasions. My wife's been gone for 2 days on what she called an overnight strategy retreat for her tech startup. Math was never Leanne's strong suit, but even she should know that overnight doesn't usually stretch into 48 hours. I press the chair leg into place, counting the seconds until the glue sets. 30, 29, 28. Same way I've been counting down the months since I noticed Leanne started caring more about her appearance than our conversations, started working late every Tuesday and Thursday, started getting texts that made her smile in ways I hadn't seen in years. The front door creaks open, and I don't look up from my work. Tom? Her voice carries that guilty pitch I've learned to recognize. High and breathy, like she's been running. What are you doing awake? Chair was making noise, I say, still not turning around. Kept me up. Thought I'd fix it before it got worse. She appears in my peripheral vision, designer heels clicking against our hardwood floors. The same floors I installed myself when we bought this house 8 years ago, back when she used to brag to her friends about having a husband who could build anything. Now I'm just Tom the contractor, the blue-collar guy who doesn't understand her vision for their company's future. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, and tell me in the comments what city you're watching from. The retreat ended early? I ask, finally looking at her. Leanne's blouse is inside out. Her lipstick is smudged in a way that suggests recent and enthusiastic removal. Her hair, usually perfect even after a full workday, looks like she's been running her hands through it. Or someone else has. Yeah, we covered everything faster than expected. She's already moving toward the stairs, trying to escape before I can ask more questions. But I'm not done yet. That's weird, I say, setting down the chair and wiping my hands on a rag. Maya posted on Instagram about grabbing drinks at the Rusty Nail tonight. Said you were supposed to meet her there after your retreat. The color drains from Leanne's face. Maya Chen is her best friend and business partner, the one person who knows all of Leanne's schedules and whereabouts. The one person who would never lie for her because Maya can't keep a secret to save her life. Maya was mistaken, Leanne stammers. I told her I might stop by, but the retreat ran longer than... I thought you said it ended early. She stops halfway up the stairs, her knuckles white against the banister. What? You just said the retreat ended early, but now you're saying it ran long. I keep my voice level, conversational. Same tone I use when explaining to clients why their foundation is cracking. Which one is it? Tom, I'm exhausted. Can we talk about this tomorrow? Sure thing. I turn back to the chair, testing the joint. Solid now. By the way, you left your phone on the kitchen counter. I hear her sharp intake of breath, followed by the rapid clicking of heels on wood as she rushes back down the stairs. Her phone sits exactly where I placed it, screen dark and innocent looking. She snatches it up, and I catch the notification that lights up the screen. Eric. Last night was can't wait for round 2 tomorrow. Eric Bell. The trust fund hipster who joined her company 6 months ago as chief technology officer. The guy who wears vintage band t-shirts that cost more than most people's rent and drives a Tesla he bought with daddy's money. The same guy Leanne has been mentioning in casual conversation more and more frequently. Looks like Eric had a good time at the retreat, I observe. Leanne's thumb moves frantically across the screen, deleting messages. But she's too late, and we both know it. Tom, it's not what you think. What do I think? I stand up slowly, all 6'2" of me unfolding from the kitchen chair. 10 years of construction work and 4 years in the army before that have kept me in decent shape, and right now I'm using every inch of my size to make a point. Because honestly, Leanne, I'm not thinking much of anything right now. I'm just observing. She clutches the phone against her chest like it's going to protect her from this conversation. We should talk about this when we're both calmer. I'm perfectly calm. And I am. That's the thing that surprises me most. 3 months ago, if someone had told me I'd catch my wife cheating, I would have expected rage, shouting, maybe throwing something. Instead, I feel cold and focused. Like when I'm demolishing a wall and need to make sure I don't hit any load-bearing beams. I'm going to bed, Leanne announces, trying to regain some control over the situation. Good idea. You'll want to be well rested for tomorrow's strategy session. She flinches at my tone and hurries upstairs. I wait until I hear the bedroom door close, then pick up her phone charger from the counter. She left it behind in her panic, and her phone was already at 12% when she grabbed it. By morning, it'll be destroyed, and she'll have to come back down here to charge it. I settle back into my chair and pull out my own phone. A quick search brings up Eric Bell's social media profiles. The guy posts constantly, pictures of expensive meals, his Tesla, workout selfies that show off his personal trainer's handiwork. And there, posted just 2 hours ago, a photo of champagne glasses in what looks like a hotel room, captioned, "Celebrating New Partnerships." I screenshot everything. Then I do something that might be petty, but feels absolutely necessary. I text myself copies of every message I saw on Leanne's phone before she deleted them. The notification previews showed enough to paint a clear picture, and my memory has always been good with details. While I'm at it, I check Leanne's social media accounts. We've shared passwords for years, back when we trusted each other, when transparency felt natural instead of naive. There's a group chat between Leanne, Maya, and Shelly Rodriguez, the 20-something social media coordinator at their company. The conversation goes back weeks, and it's not just about the affair. "Tom's so clueless," Leanne wrote 3 days ago. "Still thinks I'm working late for the company." "You sure he doesn't suspect anything?" Maya responded. "Please, he barely pays attention to anything that isn't construction-related. I could probably bring Eric home for dinner and Tom would just ask him about his car. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is what comes next." "Speaking of which," Shelley chimed in, "when are you going to drop the pregnancy bomb? You've been talking about it for weeks." "Soon. I want to make sure Eric's fully committed first. Once I'm pregnant, Tom will be locked down for child support, and I can transition to being with someone who actually has ambition." My hands shake as I read the next exchange. "You're not actually pregnant though, right?" Maya asked. "God, no. But Tom's been traveling for work so much lately, it'll be easy to fake. By the time anyone figures it out, I'll have half his assets and be living with Eric." I set the phone down carefully, afraid I might crush it in my grip. My wife isn't just cheating on me. She's planning to trap me with a fake pregnancy, steal half of everything I've worked for, and leave me for a man who's never done an honest day's work in his life. The chair leg I fixed earlier is solid now, ready to support weight again. But some foundations, once they start cracking, can't be repaired. They have to be torn down completely. I open my laptop and start typing. The next morning, I'm in my basement workshop when I hear Leanne's feet hit the kitchen floor above me. She's moving fast, probably looking for her phone charger. I've been down here since 5 a.m., planning. My workshop is my sanctuary. Tools organized on pegboards, workbench clear except for current projects, everything in its place. It's the opposite of the chaos upstairs, where Leanne's creative energy means leaving half-finished projects scattered around like landmines. I've spent the last 3 hours doing research. Eric Bell's social media presence is a goldmine of information. The guy can't help but broadcast his life to the world. His Tesla's license plate, DISRUPT1, his favorite restaurants, his workout schedule, even his home address, a trendy loft in the gentrified Mill District downtown. More importantly, I've been diving into the financial records for Leanne's company. As her husband, I'm listed as an emergency contact on several accounts, which gives me access to more information than she probably realizes. What I've found makes the fake pregnancy scheme look like small-time fraud. Leanne has been using my name and credit score to secure business loans, Lots of them. The company is leveraged to the hilt, and if it fails, I'm on the hook for over $200,000 in debt. My phone buzzes with a text from Pete Morrison, my old army buddy who now bartends at the Rusty Nail. Dude, you need to see this. I climb the stairs to find Leanne frantically searching through kitchen drawers looking for her charger. Her hair is a mess, and she's wearing the same clothes from last night. Morning, sunshine, I say, holding up the charger. Looking for this? She snatches it from my hand without making eye contact. Thanks. Sleep well? Fine. She plugs in her phone and immediately starts checking messages. I watch her face cycle through confusion, then panic, then rage. Problem? I ask. Someone's been messing with my phone. Weird. What kind of messing? She doesn't answer, but I can see her scrolling frantically through her apps. She's probably realizing that her deleted messages aren't as deleted as she thought. Modern phones back up everything to the cloud, and I've always been better with technology than she gives me credit for. I have to go to work, she announces, grabbing her purse. Don't forget to eat breakfast. You're eating for two now, right? She freezes in the doorway. What did you say? Your Instagram post from last week. Finally ready to start our family. Congratulations, by the way. When were you planning to tell me? The color drains from her face. Tom, It's fine. I already know. I pull out my phone and show her the screenshot I took of her social media post. Funny thing, though. The timestamp shows you posted this while I was in Germany for the Hoffman project. That was 8 weeks ago. She stares at the screen, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. Either you're the Virgin Mary, I continue, or someone's math is off. You don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly. I step closer, and she backs against the doorframe. The question is, what are you going to do about it? She runs. 20 minutes later, I'm at the Rusty Nail, even though it's barely 10 a.m. Pete opens early for the construction crews who need coffee and breakfast before heading to job sites. You look like hell, Pete observes, sliding a cup of coffee across the bar. Thanks for the pep talk. I show him my phone. What did you want me to see? Pete grins and pulls up Facebook on the bar's tablet. Your wife's post from last night. Leanne's latest update shows a photo of her and Eric at what looks like an upscale restaurant. They're sitting close together, his hand on her shoulder, both of them smiling like they've just shared a private joke. The caption reads, Amazing dinner with my brilliant CTO. So grateful for partners who understand my vision. #blessed, #entrepreneur, #teamwork. The comments are brutal. Is this the overnight retreat you mentioned? From Maya. Looks cozy for a business meeting. From someone I don't recognize. Where's Tom? From Mrs. Derry, our elderly neighbor who follows everyone's social media like it's her job. But the comment that makes Pete laugh out loud comes from Shelley. Girl, you might want to check your location settings. This is tagged at the Marriott downtown. She accidentally tagged herself at a hotel, Pete explains, wiping tears from his eyes. With her business partner. The whole town's talking about it. I scroll through more comments. Small towns are vicious when it comes to gossip, and Maple Brook is smaller than most. Everyone knows everyone else's business, and Leanne has just given them the juiciest story of the year. Gets better, Pete says, pulling up another screen. Check out Eric's post from the same time. Eric's Instagram shows the same restaurant, same table, but from a different angle. His caption is even more damning. When you find someone who shares your passion for disrupting traditional paradigms, entrepreneur life connections chemistry. Chemistry, I repeat flatly. Yeah, that's not about business, Pete confirms. Guy's practically advertising the affair. My phone buzzes with a notification. Someone has tagged me in a comment on Leanne's post. Hey, at Tom Marchant. Looks like your wife found a new business partner. Small towns, I mutter. Bad news travels faster than light, Pete agrees. But here's the thing that really got my attention. He leans across the bar, lowering his voice even though we're the only ones here. Maya was in here last night, running her mouth after a few drinks. Says Leanne's got herself a ticket to a better life and won't have to settle for a contractor much longer. The coffee turns bitter in my mouth. Maya said that? Direct quote. Also mentioned something about your wife being smarter than people think and knowing how to play the long game. I think about the group chat messages, the fake pregnancy, the business loans in my name. Maya knows about all of it. She's not just enabling Leanne's affair, she's helping plan my financial destruction. There's more, Pete continues. Eric was here 2 weeks ago bragging to anyone who'd listen about his new acquisition strategy. Said he was going to leverage local assets to expand the company's reach. Local assets? That's what I thought too. Guys talking about your wife like she's a business deal. I finish my coffee and stand up. Thanks for the heads up. What are you going to do? Nothing illegal, I assure him. But Leanne wants to play the long game? Fine. She just doesn't realize I've been playing it longer. I drive to the bank first. As Leanne's husband, I have the right to remove my name from any loans I didn't personally sign for. It takes 3 hours and a lot of paperwork, but by the time I leave, I'm no longer liable for the company's debt. Next stop, the phone store. I need to upgrade my data plan and add some new features. The young clerk is eager to help, especially when I explain that I need to monitor my family's phone usage for security reasons. Absolutely, Mr. Marchant. Family safety is so important these days. By the time I get home, I have access to detailed records of every call and text message on our family plan for the past 6 months. The affair started earlier than I thought, 3 months ago, right after Eric joined the company. But that's not the most interesting discovery. Leanne has been in contact with a divorce attorney for the past month. The text messages lay out her strategy in detail. Claim mental and emotional abuse, file for emergency spousal support, and freeze all assets until the settlement is reached. She's been planning this for weeks, maybe months. The fake pregnancy isn't just about trapping me. It's about maximizing her settlement by claiming I abandoned her while she was carrying my child. My phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize. Tom Marchant? Speaking. This is Detective Sarah Walsh with the Maplebrook Police. I need to ask you a few questions about your wife. What about her? She filed a complaint this morning claiming you've been threatening and intimidating her. Says she's afraid for her safety. I sink into my kitchen chair, the same one I was fixing last night when this all started. Detective, I think we need to talk. Detective Walsh is younger than I expected, maybe mid-30s, with sharp eyes that miss nothing. She sits across from me at my kitchen table, notepad open, studying my face for tells. Your wife claims you've been monitoring her communications and following her, she says. She also mentioned threats of physical violence. Did she show you any evidence of these threats? She said you deleted the messages to cover your tracks. I almost laugh. Detective, I've been a contractor in this town for 15 years. Before that, I served 4 years in the Army with an honorable discharge. I've never been arrested, never been in a fight outside of basic training, and I volunteer at the community center every weekend. Does that sound like someone who threatens women? She makes a note. People can change when they're under stress. You're right. They can. I pull out my phone and open the screenshots I took. Would you like to see what kind of stress I've been under? For the next 20 minutes, I walk Detective Walsh through everything. The affair, the fake pregnancy, the business loans, the divorce attorney, the group chat messages planning my financial ruin. I show her timestamps, social media posts, financial records, everything. Her expression grows darker with each piece of evidence. Mr. Marchant, are you telling me your wife filed a false police report? I'm telling you that my wife is trying to control the narrative before I have a chance to tell my side of the story. I lean back in my chair. Question is, what are you going to do about it? She closes her notepad. I'm going to have another conversation with Mrs. Marchant, and I'd recommend you contact a lawyer. After she leaves, I sit in my kitchen staring at the chair I fixed last night. The glue held. The joint is stronger now than it was originally. Sometimes breaking something is the first step toward making it better. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Stop digging or you'll regret it. E. Eric Bell is threatening me now. The trust fund hipster thinks he can intimidate a guy who's spent his adult life working with dangerous tools and dangerous people. I text back, looking forward to meeting you in person. The response comes immediately. You have no idea who you're messing with. Actually, I do. Eric Bell, 1247 Mill Street, apartment 3B, drives a white Tesla Model S, license plate DISRUPT1, works out at CrossFit downtown every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m., eats lunch at Artisan Bistro every Friday, and owes his daddy's trust fund about $500,000. Did I miss anything? My phone stays silent for a long time. Then, I'm a contractor, Eric. I know how to do research. I also know how to find structural weaknesses. I don't wait for his response. Instead, I drive to Artisan Bistro, the trendy restaurant where Eric takes all his Instagram photos. It's exactly the kind of place that charges $30 for a sandwich and calls it artisanal. The hostess is a college-age girl with purple hair and enough piercings to set off a metal detector. Table for one? Actually, I'm looking for someone. Eric Bell? He's a regular here. Her face lights up. Oh, Eric. Yeah, he's here every Friday. Super sweet guy. Always tips really well. I bet he does. When he comes in, does he usually eat alone? She glances around, making sure no one's listening. Well, lately he's been bringing this older woman. Really pretty, but she seems kind of intense. They always sit in the corner booth and talk really quietly. Older woman? Yeah, maybe late 30s. Dark hair, always dressed really nice. She orders the salmon every time, Leanne's favorite dish. They seem close? I ask. The hostess nods enthusiastically. Oh yeah, definitely. Last week they were holding hands across the table. So romantic. I thank her and leave a $20 tip. Small towns run on information, and information costs money. My next stop is CrossFit downtown. The gym is all exposed brick and industrial lighting, designed to look tough for people who've never done actual manual labor. I pay for a day pass and spend an hour working out, watching the regulars, learning the routine. Eric shows up at exactly 6 p.m., just like his social media posts suggested. He's with a personal trainer, a muscled guy named Brad who calls everyone bro and uses the word beast as a verb. I finish my workout and head for the parking lot, timing my exit to coincide with Eric's. His Tesla is parked in the spot closest to the door because of course it is. Nice car, I say as he approaches. He looks up from his phone and I see recognition dawn in his eyes. You're? Tom Marchant, Leanne's husband. I extend my hand like we're meeting at a cocktail party. Thought it was time we had a chat. He doesn't shake my hand. I don't think that's a good idea. Really? Because I think it's a great idea. I step closer, using my height advantage. See, I've been learning a lot about you lately. Your background, your family, your business practices. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you do. You're the guy who's been sleeping with my wife while she plans to divorce me and steal half my assets. You're also the guy who just threatened me via text message. Eric glances around the parking lot, probably looking for witnesses. Look, man, whatever's going on between you and Leanne is none of your business, except you made it your business when you decided to stick your dick where it doesn't belong. His face flushes red. You can't talk to me like that. I can talk to you however I want. This is still America, and last I checked, you're not my boss. I smile, but it's not a friendly expression. Here's what's going to happen, Eric. You're going to stop seeing my wife. You're going to stop texting her. You're going to stop taking her to hotels and posting about it on social media like you're some kind of conquering hero. And if I don't, then you'll find out what happens when you mess with someone who actually knows how to work with his hands. Eric tries to puff out his chest, but he's got the soft look of a man who's never been in a real fight. Are you threatening me? I'm educating you. There's a difference. I pull out my phone and show him a photo I took earlier. This is your apartment building. Nice place, expensive. I bet the rent alone is more than most people make in a month. His eyes widen. How did you? I also know about your trust fund, the one that's been keeping you afloat while you play entrepreneur with other people's money, the one your daddy's been threatening to cut off if you don't start showing some responsibility. You don't know anything about my family. I know your dad's name is Richard Bell, and he owns Bell Industries. I know he's been bailing you out of bad investments for the past 10 years. I also know he's a traditional guy who probably wouldn't appreciate his son breaking up someone else's marriage. Eric's face goes pale. You wouldn't. Try me. I walk away without another word, leaving him standing next to his Tesla in the parking lot. As I drive home, I see him in my rearview mirror, still standing in the same spot, phone pressed to his ear, probably calling Leanne to warn her that her husband isn't as clueless as they thought. Good. Let them panic. Panicked people make mistakes, and I'm counting on them to make a big one. When I get home, there's a message on my answering machine from Maya. Her voice is shaky, nervous. Tom, it's Maya. We need to talk. There are some things about Leanne that you don't understand. Some things that aren't what they seem. Call me back. I delete the message without writing down her number. Maya made her choice when she decided to help Leanne plan my destruction. Now she gets to live with the consequences. My phone buzzes with a text from Leanne. We need to talk. Tonight. I text back, I'm listening. Not over text, in person. Meet me at the house at 8. Our house? How generous of you. Tom, please. This has gone far enough. I checked the time. It's 6:30. That gives me 90 minutes to prepare for whatever game Leanne thinks she's going to play. But I've been preparing for this conversation since I found her phone last night. And unlike my wife, I've never been good at pretending to be something I'm not. She wants to talk? Fine, let's talk. Leanne arrives at exactly 8 o'clock, which tells me she's been sitting in her car outside our house, working up the courage to come in. She's changed clothes since this morning. Now she's wearing a blue dress I bought her for our anniversary 2 years ago, back when she still pretended to care about sentimental gestures. She's also wearing makeup, which means she thinks she can seduce her way out of this mess. You look nice, I say, not moving from my position at the kitchen table. Thank you. She sits across from me, same chair Detective Walsh occupied this afternoon. Tom, we need to clear the air about some things. I'm all ears. She takes a deep breath, and I can see her switching into performance mode. This is the Leanne who gives presentations to investors, who can sell ice to Eskimos when she puts her mind to it. First, I want you to know that I never meant for things to get this complicated. Things? With Eric. With everything. She reaches across the table like she's going to take my hand, but I pull back. It started as just business, but then you decided to be with him. She flinches at my language. It's not that simple. Sure it is. You met a guy with money, decided you wanted to trade up, and started planning how to screw me over in the process. I lean back in my chair. The only complicated part is how you thought you'd get away with it. Tom, you don't understand the pressure I've been under. The company is at a critical stage, and Eric brings connections that we desperately need. Stop. I hold up my hand. Just stop with the business justification. You're not sleeping with him for the good of the company. You're sleeping with him because he drives a Tesla, and you think he's your ticket to a better life. Her mask slips for a moment, and I see real anger flash in her eyes. Maybe I am looking for something better. Maybe I'm tired of being married to someone who thinks small and dreams small and never wants anything more than what we already have. There it is, the truth. The truth is that I've outgrown this marriage, Tom. I've outgrown this town, this house, this life. And I thought maybe we could find a way to end things amicably. I laugh, and the sound is harsh in the quiet kitchen. Amicably? Is that what you call faking a pregnancy and planning to steal half my assets? She goes very still. What are you talking about? I'm talking about your group chat with Maya and Shelley. I'm talking about your plan to lock me down for child support, while you transition to being with someone who actually has ambition. I'm talking about the divorce attorney you've been texting for the past month. The color drains from her face, but she recovers quickly. You've been spying on me. I've been protecting myself. There's a difference. She stands up abruptly, pacing to the window. Okay, fine. Yes, I've been planning to leave you. Yes, I've been seeing Eric. But the pregnancy is fake. We both know it's fake, Leanne. The timeline doesn't work, and you're not that good an actress. She spins around to face me, and now the mask is completely gone. This is the real Leanne, cold, calculating, furious at being caught. You want to know the truth, Tom? The truth is that I settled for you. I was young and stupid, and I thought love was enough, but it's not. Love doesn't pay for the life I want. Love doesn't open doors or create opportunities or give me the respect I deserve. So you decided to take what you wanted and leave me with the bill. I decided to stop wasting my life on someone who'll never be more than a small-town contractor with small-town dreams. The words hit harder than I expected, but I don't let it show. And Eric's going to give you the big city life you've always wanted? Eric understands ambition. He understands that sometimes you have to take risks to get what you want. He understands that his trust fund makes him attractive to women who think money equals worth. At least he has money. At least he has prospects. At least he's not going to spend the rest of his life fixing other people's broken shit. I stand up slowly, and she takes a step back. Not because I'm threatening her, but because she's finally seeing the man she married instead of the doormat she thought I'd become. You know what the funny thing is, Leanne? I actually respected you until about 5 minutes ago. I thought you were making a mistake, thought you'd gotten in over your head with Eric and the business stuff. I thought maybe we could work it out. And now? Now I know you're just another selfish person who thinks the world owes her something. I move closer, and she backs against the counter. But here's what you don't understand about broken shit, Leanne. Sometimes it can be fixed. Sometimes it comes back stronger than it was before. What's that supposed to mean? It means you picked the wrong man to screw over. Her phone buzzes, and she glances at it reflexively. The message preview is visible. Eric, did you tell him? We need to stick to the plan. Plan? I ask. She clutches the phone against her chest. Tom, I think you should leave. Leave? This is my house, Leanne. I bought it. I renovated it. I've been paying the mortgage for 8 years while you played entrepreneur with your little startup. Our startup. I built that company. With loans secured against my credit and my assets. Loans I removed my name from this afternoon. Her eyes go wide. You can't do that. Already did. Turns out banks don't like it when people forge signatures on loan documents. I didn't forge anything. You're my husband. We're a team. We're a team. Past tense. I pull out my phone and show her the screenshots from her group chat. Teams don't plot against each other. She stares at the screen, reading her own words back to herself. I watch her realize that her plan isn't just falling apart. It's already failed. Tom, we can work this out. We can go to counseling. We can get divorced. Clean and simple. No fake pregnancies, no false abuse claims, no stealing each other's money, just two people who want different things going their separate ways. And if I don't agree, I smile, and it's not a pleasant expression. Then you'll find out what happens when someone with small-town values decides to play hardball with someone who thinks they're smarter than everyone else. She tries one more time, moving closer, letting the dress show off her figure. Tom, we had something good once. We could have it again. Eric is just a phase, a mistake. I choose you. Too late. It's not too late. We're married. We have history. We have nothing. I step away from her attempted embrace. You made sure of that when you decided I wasn't good enough for your new life. Her phone buzzes again. This time she doesn't look at it, but I can see Eric's name on the screen. He's wondering where you are, I observe. Tom, go to him, Leanne. Go to your better life. Just remember that actions have consequences, and you haven't seen all of yours yet. She stares at me for a long moment, maybe realizing for the first time that the man she married isn't the pushover she thought he'd become. Then she grabs her purse and heads for the door. This isn't over, she says. Yes, it is. You just don't know it yet. After she leaves, I sit back down at my kitchen table and pull out my laptop. I have work to do, plans to finalize, and a foundation to completely demolish. Leanne wanted to play the long game, but she forgot that I've been in construction my entire adult life. I know how to tear things down. The abandoned Maple Brook High School gymnasium hasn't been used since they built the new school 5 years ago, but the electricity still works, and the sound system is intact. It's the perfect venue for what I have planned. I've spent the last 3 days preparing, and everything is in place. The projector I borrowed from the community center, the laptop loaded with screenshots, financial records, and social media posts, the sound system tested and ready. Most importantly, I've made sure the right people will be here tonight. The text I sent to Leanne was simple. Meet me at the old gym at 8 p.m. Come alone. Time to settle this like adults. The text I sent to Eric was even simpler. Your girlfriend's in trouble. Old gym, 8 p.m. Don't bring anyone else. What they don't know is that I've invited half the town. Pete Morrison is positioned outside with Mrs. Derry and a dozen other neighbors who've been following this drama on social media for the past week. Maya got a special invitation, along with Shelley and several other people from Leanne's company. Even Detective Walsh is here, though she thinks she's responding to a noise complaint. Small towns love a spectacle, and I'm about to give them one they'll never forget. Leanne arrives first, her heels echoing in the empty gymnasium. She's dressed for battle. Black dress, perfect makeup, hair styled like she's going to a board meeting instead of a confrontation. Tom? Where are you? I step out of the shadows near the old scorer's table, and she jumps. Jesus, you scared me. Why did you want to meet here? Seemed appropriate. This is where we had our first date, remember? Homecoming dance, senior year. Her expression softens slightly. I remember. You wore your dad's suit, and it was 3 sizes too big. And you wore that blue dress your mom made. You looked like a princess. Tom, I thought I was the luckiest guy in the world that night. Leanne Morrison was dancing with me, Tom Marchant, the contractor's kid who was never going to amount to anything. She takes a step closer. You did amount to something. You built a good life, a solid life, a small life. I never said small. You didn't have to. I pull out my phone and tap the screen. Her voice fills the gymnasium, crystal clear through the sound system. Maybe I'm tired of being married to someone who thinks small and dreams small, and never wants anything more than what we already have. She spins around, looking for the speakers. Tom, what is this? This is the truth, Leanne. All of it. Every lie, every scheme, every nasty thing you said about me when you thought no one was listening. The gym doors open and Eric walks in, looking around nervously. Leanne? What's going on? Eric, you shouldn't be here, she says. Actually, he should. I tap my phone again, and the projector mounted above the basketball hoop flickers to life. Everyone should see this. The first image that appears on the far wall is a screenshot of Leanne's group chat. Tom's so clueless. Still thinks I'm working late for the company. Eric's face goes pale. Dude, what the hell? Oh, it gets better. I advance to the next slide. Eric's Instagram post from the hotel with the caption about chemistry and connections. More people are filing into the gym now. Pete and Mrs. Derry, Maya looking sick to her stomach, Shelley with her phone out recording everything. A dozen other faces I recognize from around town. Tom, stop this, Leanne pleads. Stop what? Telling the truth. The next slide shows their financial records, the loans taken out in my name, the debt that would have destroyed me if I hadn't acted fast. You're embarrassing yourself, Eric says, but his voice shakes. Am I? I advance to the next slide, text messages between Eric and his father, where Eric begs for more money to close a big deal, and his father threatens to cut him off entirely. How did you get those? Eric demands. I'm a contractor, Eric. I know people. I know which people fix phones and recover deleted data. I know which people work at banks and can access financial records. I know which people tend bar and hear all the gossip. The crowd is growing larger. Word spreads fast in a small town, and everyone wants to see what Tom Marchant is doing in the old gymnasium with a projector and his cheating wife. This is harassment, Leanne says, but she's looking at the crowd now, seeing familiar faces, realizing that her reputation is being destroyed in real time. This is justice. I click to the next slide, the fake pregnancy posts, with timestamps showing when they were made versus when I was out of the country. A murmur goes through the crowd. Mrs. Derry's voice carries clearly, Well, I never. Tom, please, Leanne tries one more time. We can work this out privately. Privately? Like how you privately planned to destroy my life. I click to the final slide. The group chat messages about locking me down for child support and transitioning to someone who actually has ambition. The crowd's murmur turns into actual voices now. People calling out questions, expressing disgust, taking photos with their phones. Eric tries to leave, but Pete Morrison is blocking the door, arms crossed, grinning like this is the best entertainment he's seen in years. Going somewhere, trust fund? Pete asks. This is insane, Eric says. I'm calling the police. Already here, Detective Walsh announces, stepping out of the crowd. Mr. Marchant, care to explain what this is about? Just sharing some information with my neighbors, Detective. Nothing illegal about that. She looks at the projection on the wall, reading the messages. Mrs. Marchant, didn't you file a complaint about your husband threatening you? Leanne's mouth opens and closes, but no sound comes out. Because based on what I'm seeing here, Detective Walsh continues, it looks like you might have filed a false report. I was scared. You thought you could manipulate the system to get what you wanted, I interrupt. Just like you manipulated me, manipulated Eric, manipulated everyone who trusted you. Eric finally finds his voice. Look, man, I didn't know she was planning all this other stuff. The pregnancy thing, the loans, I had nothing to do with that. Really? I pull out my phone and play an audio recording. Eric's voice saying, Once you get the divorce settlement, we can use that money to expand the company. Your husband's construction business must be worth something. The crowd gasps. Even Maya looks shocked. You recorded us? Eric demands. I recorded everything. Every conversation, every meeting, every plan you two made to destroy my life. I look around the gymnasium, making eye contact with as many people as possible. See, here's what you never understood about small towns. We look out for each other. And when someone tries to screw over one of our own, we don't forget. Leanne is crying now, mascara running down her cheeks. Tom, I'm sorry. I made mistakes, but we can fix this. No, we can't. Because this isn't about mistakes, Leanne. This is about who you really are. I gesture to the projection screen. This is about someone who thought she was smarter than everyone else, who thought she could use people and throw them away when she was done. I loved you, she whispers. No, you didn't. You loved what I could do for you. The house I built, the stability I provided, The credit score that got you those loans? You never loved me. Eric tries to push past Pete, but the bartender doesn't budge. Let me out of here. In a minute, Pete says cheerfully. Show's not over yet. I walk to the center of the gymnasium, standing on the same floor where Leanne and I danced 24 years ago. You wanted to know what happens when you mess with someone who fixes broken things for a living? Here's what happens. I gesture to the crowd, to the phones recording everything, to the evidence projected on the wall. Your reputation? Broken. Your business? Broken, since I removed my name from all the loans and your company can't meet its debt obligations. Your relationship? Broken, since Eric here just threw you under the bus to save himself. Eric's face is red with rage. You think you're so smart? You think this changes anything? Leanne and I will leave this pathetic town and start over somewhere else. With what money? I ask. Your trust fund got cut off yesterday. Turns out your father doesn't appreciate sons who break up marriages and default on business loans. The color drains from Eric's face. That's impossible. Small towns, Eric. We know people, including people who know your father. Including people who sent him copies of everything you've been doing here. Leanne stares at Eric, realization dawning. You said your father would support the company. You said... I said a lot of things, Eric snaps. Just like you said you were going to handle your husband quietly. Quietly? Detective Walsh steps forward. Mrs. Marchant, did you and Mr. Bell plan to make false accusations against your husband? The gymnasium falls silent except for the hum of the projector and the sound of phones recording everything. Leanne looks around desperately, seeing the faces of people she's known for years, people who trusted her, people who are now seeing exactly who she really is. Tom, she says one final time, please. I walk over to the projector and turn it off. The evidence disappears from the wall, but it's too late. Everyone has seen it. Everyone knows the truth. You wanted a better life, Leanne. You wanted to trade up, find someone with more ambition, more money, more everything. I look directly at her, and my voice carries clearly through the gymnasium. Congratulations. You're free to go find it. But nothing. You made your choice. You chose to lie, to cheat, to steal, to destroy everything we built together. Now you get to live with the consequences. Eric finally pushes past Pete and storms toward the exit. This isn't over. Yes, it is, I call after him. Your Tesla got repossessed this afternoon. Turns out when Daddy cuts off the trust fund, the car payments stop getting made. He stops in the doorway, shoulders sagging. Oh, and Eric? That loft you're so proud of? The lease was co-signed by your father. You might want to start looking for a new place to live. He leaves without another word. Leanne stands alone in the center of the gymnasium, surrounded by the wreckage of her reputation and her plans. The crowd is starting to disperse, but slowly, people stopping to whisper to each other, to share contact information, to make sure they don't miss any updates to this story. Tom, she says quietly, what happens now? I look at her, really look at her, for what I know will be the last time. She's still beautiful, still the girl I fell in love with all those years ago, but that girl is gone, if she ever really existed at all. Now you figure out who you are without me to support you, without Eric to rescue you, without anyone to blame for your choices. I don't have anywhere to go. That's not my problem anymore. Detective Walsh approaches us. Mrs. Marchant, I'm going to need you to come to the station. We need to discuss that false report you filed. As they walk away, Mrs. Derry pats me on the shoulder. That was quite a show, Tom. It wasn't a show, Mrs. Derry. It was an education. Pete joins us, grinning widely. Remind me never to piss you off. Just don't try to steal my life and we'll be fine. I pack up the projector and my laptop, taking my time. The gymnasium is empty now, except for the three of us, but I can still feel the echoes of what just happened here. 24 years ago, I thought I was the luckiest man in the world because Leanne Morrison agreed to dance with me. Tonight, I realized I'm the luckiest man in the world because I finally know who she really is. Some foundations, once they crack, can't be repaired. They have to be torn down completely so you can build something better in their place. I'm ready to start building.